Welcome to SDL City Showdown. I'm AJ, and I'm joined with Andre and Steve.
Yeah.
So our first game is going to be give me your statement, and what we're going to do is we're just going to let Steve go ahead and give his statement. Let's see. I'm waiting.
Right. So for this match, by the way, this is SDL City Showdown. You're going to find us over on the socials. We have a website. It's SDLCityShowdownWeebly.com. Go ahead and find us there. I guarantee you it'll have more content than this game had. How about that? So I've got two statements. First statement is, AJ, this is week 5 of the 2025 season. You and I have been doing this show since week 5 of the 2024 season. This is our 1-year show-anniversary, podiversary, whatever you want to call it. So I could not imagine a better night to experience this other than the fact that we just pooped the bed. So happy anniversary. We've been doing this for a full year. Bing! All right. So
Yay!
My statement for the game was, I know we are looking to find an identity for our team, but I didn't think it was going to be bad.
Wait, is our identity bad? Do we even have identity?
I mean, it sure as hell isn't a goal scoring team. Andre, what about you? That's real, right? Like this seems to be our identity. Like we want to win in games.
Yeah, I was struggling to think that we do have an identity. Every week we see a different team. Fortunately, this week we saw the worst one. So, I don't know that we think that we can get by with a strong defense, but who saves us when our defense is in there?
Right. Well, and like tonight, we got taken down by a corner, a lucky goal, a lucky header, and like our defense did shut them down. Our defense shut them down tonight after that, but like one shot on goal the entire night, no kind of flow to the game. It was just, I mean, for me, it wasn't a great match. So I'm AJ or Andre, what do you guys have?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, here's the thing. I agree. Defense wins championships. We always hear about that in American sports. And I think when we talk about American football, the thing is defense is great because it gets your team off the field, but then it gives your offense a chance. But the problem in soccer is you don't get that reward. Yeah, we're stopping them from scoring, but if we're just sitting in our own half the entire time, you're not scoring goals. My father and I and my mother were watching a game, and probably about at the same time, it was around the 10-minute mark, we both kind of said, hey, is this the first time we're actually in the opposing half? Not even in the attacking third, but like literally the opposing half. 10 minutes. You're not going to win games. I don't care how good your defense is. Honestly, I would rather us score tons of goals and give up a lot of goals than to see this. Because not only do you lose, but it's just really boring when you do. My gosh.
Yeah, I see that. Again, it just felt like we were just playing mud. Like we weren't moving. It did give that vibe, and for our defense to, like, our team in general, not to play like that, to move across the field or anything. It was.
Now, we had like a goaling explosion against, again, we had Seattle and we had LA where we put up some goals. But we've also had the San Diego match and our first match against Colorado where we did nothing. So like, we're now 5 games, around 5 matches in, where our goal differential now is probably 2. So we are officially at this point, first half of the season, a defensive-minded team. I think we probably need to put that on our plate. So like, was the team just not ready tonight to again go against another high press? And AJ, you pointed out like this is another high press team that we're struggling against.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. This is the thing. This is the second time we've gone up against a high-press team, and we floundered both times. To me, what this shows is there's the big weakness in our midfield. There is no doubt that our defense is stout. Like, we're great inside the box and even the defensive third, but it's that middle third in our midfield that it just got eaten alive. We could obviously talk about Leuven and his play, which seems like it's been suffering lately, but there was just like some awful turnovers. We just couldn't get it past the midfield. It's usually if you guys watch, it's usually after the first pass. So the center backs will pass it up forward to midfield, and then it's that second pass that we often lose the ball. And I think especially the press seemed to expose that because we just couldn't get through that first wave of the press. So that actually kind of brings me to my statement for you guys. My statement would be simply that we just simply lost duels tonight. We knew that the Carnell team was going to be a team that was going to have a lot of aerial duels. We knew that going into that because that's just his style. We've seen games with Philly. We knew that, but yet still we were losing. I think we ended up with 69 or 70% with Philly winning those duels. And just even the ground duels, I think they won like 55% ballpark. Not only were we losing them, like maybe via skill, but there's a few times where I saw the ball coming to our player, like for a pass, and our guys are just sitting there ball watching while the Philly guys would just run and just snatch the ball. Like we just didn't have that hustle. We didn't have that willpower. We didn't have that determination.
Yeah, it always felt like our team was just slower moving and even on reaction. It did seem like we were late to get to the ball. When we had a shot, it felt like we took too long to take it. And it just literally felt like, we were playing in honey. They were just playing, they were running through the air. We were trying to run through water.
So then, how can we say that this is like right now, how can we kind of say like, oh, this is a playoff team? This is going to be a team that needs to be worried about. I mean, can we? I don't think we can right now.
I mean, let's be honest. We were high this week because we're like, okay, we're third place in the table. We're a good team. Like it kind of shows we have, 8 points. And we're like, yeah. But the realistic thing is it's just such a small sample size. I think over the season, like this isn't looking good.
Right.
It just really isn't looking good. You can't win a playoff game without scoring goals. And so far, it just feels like we luck into goals instead of actually having a good system. And this is something I kind of wonder, does Olaf need to maybe say, okay, we're going to sacrifice a little defense, whatever that means, to try to help out the midfield and the goal scoring? Maybe it's personnel change. Maybe you put somebody a little bit more offensive minded. Maybe you change the schema a little bit. I'm not saying necessarily formation, but maybe how you position the players within that formation.
I guess the good news is they'll have to do that next week because Leuven is going to miss the match. So they'll have time.
Right.
Yeah.
Andre, what was your statement?
I think that in addition to hiring physical therapists, I think the team needs to hire regular therapists and counselors. Because the team today played very aggressive and angry and with a lot of emotion. I thought last week was pretty cool when we saw Olaf draw a yellow card. I thought today when the assistant coach got one was kind of out of place. It was kind of at a time where everyone was drawing cards and even Leuven got the red. So it's kind of like, all right, guys, like if you plan to be a defensive team, shouldn't you kind of also keep your head? Shouldn't you be the ones frustrating the other team, right? And it was just shown all over the field today, Durkin, I expect him to kind of draw some penalties, right?
Yeah.
But it was getting to the point where dude, everyone's getting them. Are you guys frustrated? Do you guys just want to go home already? What was it that we're seeing out there? And maybe a lot of that frustration and stuff they brought onto themselves because they weren't hustling, they weren't moving, they weren't getting the ball. Maybe they gave the goal early. It kind of seemed like they were kind of just checking out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like with Leuven, his second yellow card, literally it was him just kicking the ball away because he was frustrated that a foul got called against him. I get it. The players were super frustrated with this ref. I think the fans were too, especially City fans. But the thing is like you said, you have to keep your head. And what ended up happening, he's already on a yellow card and he kicks the ball away, getting a delay of game. Come on, dude. You literally were our captain for the first 2 years and you're doing stupid stuff like this. That's not leadership. That's not a veteran player. That's something I expect from a U22 type of player.
That was a very unfortunate way to get a second yellow card when it had actually been happening multiple times this match. There were multiple times where the ball was kicked away. I know I think Durkin actually got a yellow for that too, or a foul for that. And I'm not going to blame the ref, but it probably should not have been a yellow card. Oh, by the way, I did a ref report, but I didn't post it. This ref only has 3 years experience, and he really does not call a lot of fouls normally. He only averages 2 yellow cards a match. And what we saw tonight was very out of character for that ref as well. So the fact that he was also doing that, there was something going on that this should not have been the kind of game that this ref called. So I'm not really sure what happened. Maybe he had, I don't know, don't want to speculate, but so like even the ref was out of character. Like I know our match, our game, our players were too.
Hebert, I don't remember seeing Hebert ever get angry, but this game, I mean, I'm not saying it's Hebert's fault, but maybe it was just the matchup. But this is the first time I've seen him like this angry, this frustrated. Maybe these players just got really frustrated by this press and they just felt like they just couldn't do what they wanted to do and maybe just ate them alive. I agree with you, Andre. Like, dude, they need to go to therapy or something.
Mm-hmm.
So for our next segment, Andre came up with a good idea here. We probably need a segment that's a little different than this statement segment. And and the segment is silver linings. Okay, guys.
Right,
Andre, this is your big segment. What's yours?
Well, it's where I get morale's low right now, and as expected, right? But I have to remember that you're not as good as your best game, so we're not as good as that Galaxy team that we were, and you're not as bad as your worst team. So again, we're not as bad as today's team, right? We're kind of somewhere in the middle, and you also have to kind of take something away from this that you liked seeing, right? And this game, I like the fact that it seemed that we kind of had plays in mind. We had actually like moves, right? So there was that one picture pass, like when we got down to the other side, and it was just a blindsided kickback that could have been like a really strong goal. Again, if it wasn't for the fact that we were kind of slow to react, and I like seeing that. It seemed like we kind of had like formations and like routes that we were gonna run to try to kind of make some openings, some opportunities, and I mean, that's probably just about it, out of today's game. And I kind of want to see more of that going forward. Maybe that's kind of the path we take to becoming more of an attacking team. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like if our midfield was intact, you're right. Our goal scorers, we have Teucher, Batcher, Hartle. Even though Teucher seemed like he's been pretty absent this year, but I feel like if we got the ball to these guys could make something happen. I agree with you. I think that's a pretty good silver line. Yeah. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah. Yep. We've got the right players. We've got the ability to do it. Just got to put it together. AJ, what is your silver lining?
Dude, if I have to have a silver lining, it's the fact that when Berkey got hurt, we were freaking out. We're like, okay, there goes the clean sheets, there goes this, there goes the season. But the realistic fact is what showed up today. I get it, we gave up a goal, but that goal was not his fault. That was our guys just not winning yet another aerial duel. I was impressed. I was like, okay, this guy like held up today. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah. That is actually
I think so too. I agree with that.
It's actually my silver lining as well. Go ahead, Andre.
No, I'm just saying, like, given the pressure that he was under, the role he had to fill, and what we've seen the last two games, I think he's been very, very good.
Yep. Yeah, that was my silver lining. Lunt is really good, and as long as we keep this up, as long as it's not, I mean, the last game he only had 1 or 2 shots on goal. Tonight, this dude he was actually using his giant body. That's one thing I've noticed is that he's like 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". He's a good 5 inches taller than Berkey, but like it seems like Berkey always gets around easier. This dude was making springing jumps. He was punching the ball. He was active. He was standing on his damn head. And at one point, my wife was watching the match with me. She said, "Did he just tell them to wake up?" Like it seemed like he's doing angry loons out there. And if we have an extended period of time, which we all know sports injuries are never what they say. If right now we're saying Berkey's out for a month, that dude's out for 3 months. Like, let's be honest. He sounds like he broke his hand on a shot, is what Lund said during the pregame interview today. Ben made a good comment. Ben said, you can have a horrible week of practice and show up on Saturday. Or you can have an amazing week of practice and cost your team on Saturday. It's all about how you feel in the moment. And this dude came out there and he played his ass off. And it is a shame that with Philadelphia missing 5 international players, 5 players today, they had a decimated team. We could not muster 1 shot for our goalkeeper today. Just 1. That's embarrassing. So, like, my silver lining is that we have what was I say? We have a sour with great goalies. How about that? Like, we have an amazing problem where we have just great goals. And then if Lund goes down, I know Oliveras is a good goalie too. So, like, this is okay. We're okay. Offensively, but defensively, and our goalkeeper, we're okay. So that's good. Good job, Ben. I know he watches. Friend of the pod, Ben Lute.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing I will say, I want to see him reach angry Berkey levels. Now, I know that might be impossible for the average goalie, But I want to see him get there, you know? I like the fact he did tell him to wake up, but I want him to, like, yell. I want to see that vein come across as, you know.
Okay. Well, guys, I have the next segment for you guys, goal or no goal. Let's kind of get into this. There's a couple of goal or no goals. The first one, a top line of Pompeo, Klaus, Betcher would be a ton of fun to watch. We got to do something to get the offense on track. Goal or no goal?
I think goal. I don't know what's going on with Pompeo. Is he still injured? Why has he not been in the rotation?
Yeah, so a lot of people have been wondering this. The problem is this system, like, there's only so many players on the field, right? So our system uses more of wing backs that move forward as opposed to wingers that are forward or ready. So basically we have Valum and Totland out there, for instance, instead of having wingers out there. And we have a third center back. So it's more defensive minded that then brings the ball forward instead of having these wingers and stuff like that. So the problem is he was our best player last year, but unfortunately the system just has no use for him, which is one of the reasons why we got rid of Indy, by the way, is because our system doesn't value wingers. It values wing backs.
Yeah, for me, that's definitely a goal. How about this one? I like this one. Regardless, if this is from Discord, not El Tapadu, said, regardless, it felt like an NFL game with all the dead play with the ref blowing the whistle every 2 to 3 minutes. Goal or no goal? The ref really stalled this game out.
Go for it, Andre. You know you want to.
Did the ref stall it, or was it us just kind of, like I said, losing our emotions in our fields and just kind of doing stupid shit in the field? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's somewhere in between. It's off the board.
I agree with you. I think the ref did call some stuff that I thought was a little ticky-tacky, but I agree with you. It was us losing our composure. There were some things that didn't need to be fouls, like when Leuven brought the guy down. I know there's tactical yellows, but I just felt like it wasn't necessary there. Durkin, well, does Durkin things. I agree with you. I'm going to say no goal on this. Maybe like just barely missed, but no goal. Well, what do you think, Steve? What would you say?
You know, from my research doing the ref reports, I definitely anticipated a much looser game, a game where the referee wasn't as much of an impact on the match than he was. Apparently, the ref was in the passing lanes all night too. I saw multiple times the players were frustrated because passes were going off of him. So, like, it seems as though this referee wasn't ready.
It's true.
Or whatever it was, he wasn't up to the task, we'll say. It wasn't, however, butthole ref level, but it was bad where you know, we talk about the MLS is different from other sports where the referee can really control the flow of the game. And for what it's worth, it seemed that Philadelphia was ready. Philadelphia, there's very limited amount of research on this guy. Philadelphia was ready. Philadelphia just kind of figured it out. And it seemed that St. Louis was going to come play their style, and this is what we got out of that. So for me, that is a goal because it was frustrating to see this ref not play out the way he has in the past with his calls. So.
Yeah. So here's another one for you guys. Goal or no goal? If you guys are on YouTube, you guys can see Andre's shirt. That's Costco one, right? Mm-hmm. Goal or no goal, that shirt is pretty dope, especially for the price, and Costco for the win.
You know where I'm going to stand with that. So it's a goal.
As someone on the Illinois side that doesn't get a chance to see inside the halls of Costco, I'm going to say no goal because you uppity Costco folks. We're over here with Sam's Club and with broken carts and, you know, lighting that doesn't work. You guys over there in your ivory tower of Costco with your $2 pizza. Fat cats over there.
I think somebody's just jealous, Andre. What do you think?
I think he might change his tune and we show up
I
with
think
the
it's an
shirt.
open goal. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess if we were good friends, we'd get him a freaking shirt.
No, I don't want your dirty
know,
Costco shirts. I'll wait 5 years for them to finally get into Sam's Club.
Goodwill.
Yeah, Goodwill, even better.
All right, so here's a real one for you. There's 2 comments here. The first comment is down a goal and a man, and 2 subs are center backs. What is going on? But then somebody replied, so this is the actual one here. We have 5 subs available. If Olaf isn't making offensive substitutions, it's not because he doesn't have enough substitutions, but because he doesn't think anybody on the bench would improve the offense. Do you think this second person is goal or no goal?
That kind of speaks to you, Andre, with Celio. What do you think?
Dude, I don't know. Now you got me thinking.
Don't do that.
Don't
That's
do it,
dangerous. Yeah, that's your first
It's
mistake.
really bad in this. Yeah, it's really bad in this political climate, right? So yeah, maybe you're right. I shouldn't do
you shouldn't
that.
think.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't believe that we can. Yeah, maybe he is handcuffed by like his actual offensive system, and they can make it better. I think that's a goal, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And then hold on. And then I guess we didn't touch back on it, but is it just me or when we lost, Lubin, did the team come alive? Did it seem like we were more offensive then?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were.
What was that about?
I think what happens is you're down by a goal. There's 25 minutes left in the game or whatever it was. It's desperation. You just say, screw it. Let's just go all out. Who cares if we give up another goal? I think they just finally just woke up, honestly.
But doesn't that speak to what you said? They're like, all right, it's okay. We give off more goals as long as we're trying to get them ourselves. Like, what was that in the first half?
I mean, I agree with you. I think sometimes you can play too defensive. The problem is right, like, let's just pretend you can stop 90% of shots, 95%. The problem is you're still going to let goals in. So that cannot be a strategy. It can be a strategy when you're winning 1-0, absolutely. You can really play defensive. But you can't play defensive when you're down, especially when they're creaming you. Like, we had to make a shift here. Honestly, we should have moved to a 4-4-2 or some kind of derivative of that. Take one of the center backs and bring in a winger or something. So I agree.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like they came to life once they were down a man. They're like, oh no, maybe now we can do something. I did see like Celio, as soon as he came in, he had an immediate impact. He received a pass by the box, and it seemed like something might build, but then it died on the vine. I did see later Klaus, when he came in, Klaus had a run up that looked like it could have been well, but he passed it he had too heavy of a foot on there. I did see that too, Andre, where all of a sudden it looked like everyone was, I guess, yeah, once the pressure was on, you play a little harder. Yeah, that's what I saw too.
So let me bring you up this comment, and it's going to kind of tie into this. So Throwaway with like literally 10 numbers on Reddit said, y'all will hate me for saying this, but I'm glad Leuven will be out next week. People still prop him up based on what he did 2 years ago. He has not been the same since he returned last year. Yes, he's got a goal last week. One goal from one free kick just isn't enough when you factor in everything else. So my question is this: were we better because we just kind of threw caution to win, or was it the fact that Leuven wasn't on the field?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's caution to the wind. This guy is still, he's still our OG. He's still out there doing his thing. I want to say he's probably still the heart of the team. He probably gave up the armband because he probably just didn't want to have it. He probably had a lot of weight on there. And no, I'm not about to agree that Leuven is an addition by subtraction kind of a player right now. This ain't he's not a distraction. He's not Big Sam. Like that ain't it for me. It was just unfortunate. He scored our goal last week. He scored our goal that we won the game on. So like, I'm not about to say that he is some bum all of a sudden. How about you, Andre?
I agree. He is value added. I think most of what we saw again is desperation, right? Like there's urgency, and that's where we saw that revitalization of the team. So no, I think he's an asset again. Even in his presence, like just his the way he plays, very tactical. So I will disregard what you're saying, and I think that he is a good addition.
So here's my question for you guys then, to tie on to this. Do you think it's the fact that Leuven's not playing well, or do you think the system just isn't catering to Leuven? In other words, are they leaving him exposed? Are they not supporting him?
That's a great question. I don't know. It's probably that he's not being supported is what I would say. Or it's right now he's trying to fit into the system, and it's probably way different than what he's used to. I think the system is very different, and this is probably still like a growing pain with that. That's a great question. What do you think, Andre?
Yeah, what a difference that
I know.
So 1 week ago, I would have said, 1 week ago, I said, I don't question Olaf, and, like, I think that man knows how to, like, build a team. And now I'm wondering, like, well, all right, you have all these, like, you're talking about Pompeo, Leuven. I'm trying to think that maybe he isn't being set up to succeed. Maybe we're not using his talents to the best of our ability as a coach.
Okay. Goal or no goal, Cycle Builder 42 on Reddit said, please, no more Betcher over Klaus talk. The attack is just so much better with Klaus in the game. Goal or
Oh my God. gonna say no goal on that one. Again, my wife, who is a very casual fan, saw Klaus out there and she joined in. She said, "Can we just get rid of Klaus?" I was like, "Dang! Oh, another one! Oh my God!
Boom.
No. It wasn't working. And even when Klaus was out there, it wasn't working. So like,
I don't know if you guys saw this. Hartle was bringing the ball along the left side, and it was kind of like one of those kind of breakaway situations, right? And Klaus, instead of going forward and making a run towards the net, he actually held up, fell behind Hartle, and there was like 3 guys surrounding him. He was basically completely taken out of the play. And I'm like, dude, go towards the net. You're a striker. Like, I get that you're trying to create a passing lane, but somebody's got to go towards the net. Somebody's got to get in the box. What was he doing? So frustrating. That's where Betcher was different. Betcher's hungry for the ball.
Yeah. I had that Klaus was going to be our lead scorer this season. And man, did that age like left out milk, man.
however,
Dude,
he's not that far. He's not that far from the rest of the guys on the team that have scored, right?
there's still a chance, right? No, but
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance, yes.
yeah, no, but you're right. Like I don't know that I thought he was going to return to form. I thought he just had like a bad year last year, but now, man, I think this is more of the trend that he's kind of following, and he's kind of tired. Like he doesn't. He's a big body, and we like that presence out there, right? He can throw his weight around, but it seems like he doesn't use it as much. And man, I think Betcher's still a better player on the field, man.
So goal or no goal, and this is from me, Betcher's turning into a little a-hole to the opponents. So there was a couple games, I think it was the first or second game, where there was a set piece, and he was going back and forth, like from the goalie to the line, and just kind of like distracting him. Today, Betcher goes and just like pushes somebody just like randomly, and he's just like constantly doing stuff. I don't know if you guys saw too, like it was after a goal, I think Betcher was just like staring down the fans. I mean, a lot of players do that, but this guy is just like all sorts of feisty. What do you guys think? Goal or no goal? Have you guys noticed?
I have to look back at it. I do notice his movements, like he has been drawing more attention, but I have to look back at the staring down the fans thing. I didn't know if I picked up on that. If that's the case, then yeah, bro, goal.
Well, goal for sure. He is like our scary Terry. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He is just a nuisance. He's there to bug people. He wants to be in the way. And teams need that. Teams need a guy like him. Him mean mugging the crowd. Him mean mugging the goalie during the set piece. That is perfect. I want more of that energy.
Yes.
I want teams to remember us because we can do that to them. We can get in their heads. I think we were missing that tonight. I think other than me mugging the crowd a little bit, I think we were missing that edge. We probably need more of that on this team.
Yeah. So guys, we're kind of hitting that point of our podcast for this episode. For closing arguments, do you guys have any last words before we peace out here?
I'll tell you what.
It sucks.
I'm gonna have St. Louis City come in closer, guys. Come in closer. Guys, come a little closer. Just score. That'll be fine. Just score. Just every once in a while. That's fun. The ball goes in the net.
Wait,
yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do?
Yeah. Well, I think there was a study published by the New England Journal of Medicine, which I think they concluded that 10 out of 10 teams that score more points end up winning a game. So
that's a wild
maybe we should
stat.
look into the data.
I don't trust that fully, but I'll take your word for it for now. It seems wild.
I'm just saying the data speaks for itself. I think we should follow it and lean into it. So yeah, if we can get some more points up there, preferably more than the opposing team, I think that'll be the key to success going forward.
I'm sorry. I think this was like some big industry, like the soccer ball makers of the United States that funded that study. I just don't trust it. I'm sorry, guys. That's a bunch of hogwash.
It was funded by big nylon ball, huh? Right. Yeah, I guess my statement would be like, dude, it sucks, man. Like, this is a really terrible feeling right now. But I guess it was kind of due given the 2 highs that we had with the other 2 games. So I'm hoping we don't feel like this again next week. Hopefully next week we at least get a win, bare minimum a draw. So come on, Austin, bring it on.
Bring it on. All right, Steve, you got any last thoughts before you take us out?
Just visit us on our socials. We're going to be interacting with you guys, different polls, different questionnaires, different postings. If you want to come join us, send us a message, comment even on one of our Facebook or Reddit posts. Hey, it'll be cool to be on, and we'll hit you up and we'll bring you on. We want many different experiences. Other than that, I am excited to be here with you guys, recording this tonight, talking about soccer in St. Louis. I'm not going to let that go. We are still here doing this thing. We weren't doing this 3 years ago. So, like, we're here now. And that's exciting.
Heck yeah, man.
That's good, man. Win or lose, these guys will be here. So.
All right, guys. Well, till next time.
You guys ready? All right. Let's hit it.
Let's do it.
2, 3. Over City, baby!
Over City.
You guys did it together. It's so cute.